Okay, go ahead. Welcome everybody to today's edition of SIG Node. It is Tuesday, March 15th, 2022. We've just passed our soft freeze the previous meeting, and I wasn't there, but thanks folks for going over the list of things on today's agenda. I guess let's start with Sergey and the status of PRs.
Yeah, if you missed what's going on with PRs this week, you can check those links in the agenda document. I found one rotten PR that adding some unit tests for, or like end-to-end tests for static pods from Clayton. I'm not sure if it's still needed because there are many changes in the space, but there's potentially one that was rotten without us noticing. That may be interesting. Other than that, we grew a little bit on PR count, not significantly. So let's double down on reviewing and approving PRs.
Sounds good. What's our total that we have open right now? Do you know?
Oh, sorry, I didn't place it. It's a 174.
Cool. So not too much change.
Yeah, it's +3 comparing last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, just a side note, I'm not sure whether anybody noticed we added Kevin as approver for end-to-end tests. Welcome, Kevin.
Half of end-to-end test. He had it on like e2e_node, but was missing it on like e2e/node or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So more permissions.
Hurrah. Okay. Let's move on into the agenda. First up, we have Vinay with in-place pod vertical scaling status.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, my own release. We're working on a release at work, and that got done last Friday. That took a lot of priority. There were many last-minute issues, so we've heard that story before, right? Okay, so I'm now fully focused on trying to get this address Derek's comments, and I was reviewing most of them. Derek, correct me if I'm wrong, but are there any major concerns that you have that I missed? It looks like there are various questions, and I'm responding to them with examples on why they were done.
I don't think we have Derek today, so you might want to catch him on Slack.
Okay, let me ping him on Slack. So what I'll do is I'll respond to his comments that he has. I think many of them are clarifications, and there are some gaps in the missing tests and stuff. So I'm going to be working on that this week and try to close the loop on that. How close? I mean, how comfortable are we with this? I know we missed the soft freeze deadline.
Well, your PR is open. Since this is going alpha, it doesn't have to merge by then. The things that have to merge by the freeze deadline are beta and deprecations.
Okay.
So this isn't beta or a deprecation, so it doesn't have to be merged already.
Okay, so this still has life till 29th of this month, the code freeze date.
Yes.
We can get it through. Okay, so all right, then I need to update the PR, catch up with the latest changes. I hope there isn't a lot of churn from the merge. I'm going to spend time on that, mainly address Derek's comments, see if there is anything relating that I missed. Going to create issues. There are a lot of people who are willing to help, so I'm going to start assigning issues to folks, and I'll take on some myself over the next month or so. Try to wrap up as many things as we can. So that's pretty much the nutshell status. Any questions?
Not for me.
Okay.
And as Vinay mentioned, I just also added a note of this in the agenda. March 29th is code freeze. So if you have anything you want to get done for the 124 release, you have a little under 2 weeks. Okay, moving on. Danielle, what you got? Annual report things.
Oh yeah. So as part of doing the SIG annual report, there's a couple of things that I can't do or would like some broader input on. One of those is that as part of the annual report, they're asking for SIGs to have contributor progression ladder as part of their like SIG documentation. If there's anything that is different to, you know, the like Kubernetes default contributor documentation that exists. And we had the outstanding thing of Dawn and Derek having a document somewhere a few months ago. And so it would be nice to get that cleaned up and moved into the community repo as part of this.
Derek is Derek here. I think the Derek need the last review about that one, and I already approval. Couple people already agree, but I think the Derek maybe hold some like the last opinions. And once that I ping Derek. Derek is not here. I ping Derek and let's move forward. Yeah.
Cool. If you can just like send that to me or whatever when it's finalized.
Yes. Maybe I also share with you.
Cool.
And yeah, so as soon as possible. So then let's make that go. So our goal is publish and share with community as soon as possible. I think it's just last step. Yeah.
Cool. And then there's a second part to that of updating our contributing.md to be sort of friendlier to people who want to start contributing to Node. If you take a look at that page today, it is a pile of links followed by like a little bit of documentation from DIMS. And before I take a pass at that, I wanted to know if anyone had opinions or things they would like to make sure are included there. Fun.
Yeah, I think what may be really helpful is some notes on code organization. I think many Slack questions of new contributors is how code is organized and why it's organized this way. We may have some links to SIG architecture, but I think for Kubernetes itself, like which folders we use and why, this might be useful.
Cool. I'll take a pass at that sometime this week. That is everything from me.
Cool.
Oh, one last quick thing, actually. Is there anything that happened last year that we want to share with the community to highlight from the SIG? I added like getting test passing and finally deprecating Docker shim, but like there's probably something else that I'm missing.
We ran a bug squashing party and it was pretty successful.
I think we also can. We have a lot of either promote the alpha to beta, beta to GA, and also remove deprecate many features. I think that maybe Sergey can help because Sergey actually contribute a lot. Remove the dead code, include dynamic the Kubernetes config, right? So we can loop off those things. This is basically make our code base maintainable, right? It's similar as the Docker shim deprecation. We also actually remove a lot of the deprecate a lot of the code and remove some dead code too. So and those could be also highlighted there.
Sweet. Sergey, how do you feel about going and updating that? That sounds great.
Yep, I can do that.
Okay. Anything else, Danielle? Sounds good. Okay. Next item we have Deep. Deep, what you got?
Hello. Hey, so this is a quick update on the CAP we have been working on around pod sandbox conditions. So we had a few review and comments from Lana and Derek earlier. So this is a quick update on the fact that I simplified the overall CAP quite a bit. There were like, say 2 conditions that you pointed at, Lana, simplified that to 1. It also removes some of at least like one of the things that Derek pointed out, and also handles termination pretty nicely. So yeah, it's been simplified quite a bit, and I think it aligns a little more with some of the existing ready conditions. So would be great if I can get some more feedback on it.
Cool. I probably won't have time to go through it. I don't know if Derek will, but I know that he also has a really long list, so I'll do my best. If other folks from the community want to look through this and maybe give feedback on like how this may or may not help you, that would also be super useful. So I think that I had some concerns about like scope and, would this potentially be covered by like other work that we're doing and that kind of thing. So. Cool.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Anything else on that?
Nope, that was it.
Cool. Any other business? That's the end of our agenda for today. Short meeting, maybe.
May I ask a little bit status update on that out of CPU? Because I think that's the regression in the 1.22. So all our current release, very soon, all the release will have that. I know the Clayton is not here, but I saw the David Porter is here since he put a lot of time.
Yeah, so I can provide a status update for that. Yeah, so the PR is still in progress. I think it's a lot closer to getting done. Basically, we identified an additional issue a little bit earlier last week related to that. So basically, there was an issue where evicted pods, if kubelet evicted a pod, the status update of that evicted pod would kind of come in two parts. And so the problem is that the phase was updated to terminal. So it was updated to basically, some terminal state, but the conditions were still set to ready. So it was possible that a pod could be in this kind of weird state where ready would be true, but the phase would be terminal. And this was also an issue because from the service standpoint, like traffic would still be sent to this pod in this terminal state. So we identified that issue as well, and it's kind of related to this PR. So I added another regression test to capture that issue. So we kind of have two regression tests added now, one for the out of pods issue and second for this issue as well. And so Clayton actually updated the PR and has included both of those tests, and then both are now passing in the PR. So I think we're actually very, very close to getting that in, and it should solve both of those issues. So yeah, Clayton's been doing great work on fixing that issue, and I've been testing it, and I think it addresses both of those issues. So I think we should have it very soon.
Great.
And I think the PR is in a good state. Yeah. Yeah, the next step will be, it's kind of a larger change, so we should get it in, and we should have CI passing. Oh yeah, the other kind of thing to mention, I added, like as part of the testing for this PR, it requires kind of creating a lot of pods in parallel. And I noticed in Kubernetes that in general, we don't have a pre-submit serial job. So like we were unable to actually test this in pre-submit because we don't have a pre-submit serial job. So I went ahead and
we have multiple pre-submit serial jobs.
So sorry, pre-submit serial job for not node ETE, for cluster ETE.
For cluster E2E. Okay.
Yeah. So I wasn't able to find such a job. So I created a job in test infra that does that, specifically kind of to test this. So that's the other thing that I had to add. And I think that'll help test this as well in pre-submit. So anyways, that's the other thing. And yeah, once we get the change in, we'll have to cherry pick it, I guess, all the way back to 122. It's a little bigger change. So we'll have to go through that and make sure there's no conflicts or anything like that. But yeah, that's kind of the status update for it.
Thanks, David.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Any other business? Going once, going twice. Okay, let's call it. Nice short meeting. You get 40 minutes back. Here's everybody. Nice to see you. See you next week.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Anyway, I will send you stuff. Yeah.